Hey, everybody out there in Facebook Live land. This is Gunny J. My question to you today is, are you dependable? This is the third trait of the 14 Marine Corps leadership traits. We covered justice and judgment, and now we're on dependability. So let's get into it. Let me bring up this slide. Dependability. You know, that's one of those traits where everybody wants to say yes, but sometimes the answer is no. And as I go through this, I'll explain it more. See what it means. Dependability means that you can perform or relied upon to perform your duties properly. It means that you can be trusted to complete the job. It is the willing and voluntary support of the policies and orders of the chain of command or whatever business you're in. Dependability also means that you put your best effort in an attempt to achieve the highest standards of performance. Yes, you are, Joe. Joe is definitely a dependable individual. Awesome. So what things can you do to improve upon your dependability? Well, you can increase your dependability by performing the habit of being where you're supposed to be on time. I'm going to stop right there. A lot of times in the Marine Corps, we were trained that if you're not like 15 minutes, 5 minutes before your appointed place of time, you're late. Being on time is late. Being there beforehand is being on time, if that makes sense to you. I still carry that habit with me today, and it drives a lot of people insane who aren't Marines, but every Marine understands, man, there's nothing to hate more than being late for an appointment or something else like that. By not making excuses and by carrying out every task to the best of your ability. You know, honestly, most of the time, people really don't care what your excuse is for being late. It really doesn't matter. You know, whether it's a young Marine, the group that I volunteer for, I'm going to touch on that here in a minute, you know, saying, well, you know, my mom didn't wash my camis or whatever. Nobody cares. Are you in the proper uniform or not? Are you dependable to bring all your equipment or not? That's a huge deal. The dependability in a leader is absolutely imperative, because if you are not dependable, then your word means nothing. And I'm going to give you a little example. I was a division commander, 4th Young Marine Division. It's a volunteer youth organization to keep kids off drugs, out of gangs, and in school. That's our mission. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. There's nothing better. But as I started my leadership coaching and my attraction marketing and becoming a coach in those areas, I didn't have the bandwidth to be dependable in both, right? So in the 15 laws of growth in John Maxwell's book, there's a law called the law of trade-offs. And when you start a new project, or you start growing in a certain area, or you start trying to design your life more in a certain area. Absolutely. The trade-offs are pretty easy. You know, you stop watching as much TV or video streaming Netflix. A lot of times these trade-offs at the very beginning, you start a new business. Let's say you're starting a new home-based business. A lot of trade-offs are easy. But as you grow, the law of trade-offs becomes harder. And what happens is you only have so much bandwidth in your brain housing group, in your head, in your life. You only have so much bandwidth to do things. And so I had to make the trade-off. Do I step down as division commander for this volunteer organization, or do I stop developing my online coaching and attraction marketing business? Well, I picked, I'm almost 60, so that's my retirement. That's my exit plan. So I picked my coaching business and my traction marketing, and I stepped down from being a division commander. And that's a hard decision. And I'm going to put the young Marines up here just in case anybody's interested. Thanks, Joe. And so sometimes you can have too many irons in the fire and you become undependable because you just do not have enough bandwidth in the day. And so you have to make a trade-off. What am I going to do? What do I have to shave from my life? Because I go back, a leader has to be dependable. If a leader says he's going to do something, whether it's something good or even if it's something reproving, you know, if you do this, then we're gonna run 3 miles whether you like it or not. It carries no weight if you're not dependable. So even though this may seem not one of those sexy traits, it's actually extremely important trait. If you are not dependable, your word means nothing as a leader. And if your word means nothing, then you don't carry influence. And leadership is influence. And if you don't have influence, you ain't leading nobody. So dependability, it's a good one. Sit back, reflect on it. Am I dependable? What areas am I not dependable in? Why am I not dependable in those areas? Is it something I don't like to do? Is it something I don't have the bandwidth for? Or is it a habit pattern that I need to break? That's all I got for you today. Thanks for listening. This is Gunny J, and I am out.